stay away from smoking.
Okay, so basically
Shisha.
Oh, shisha.
Exactly.
But okay, shisha is the
Shisha,
trend
yes,
now.
it's the trend now, but anxiety is also the trend. So you can tell that there's some kind of relation.
And welcome to my channel. I hope you are having a wonderful time. To Muslims around the world, I say Ramadan Mubarak to you. May the blessings of this month be upon us. And to the rest of us too, I hope and pray we are having a wonderful weekend. Today's topic is interesting. It is one that we can all relate to and identify with. The topic is anxiety. A lot of us probably have experienced anxiety, but have not been able to really say that this is anxiety. How do we even come out of it or manage it if we experience it? I have an interesting person today to help me digest the topic of anxiety. She herself has experienced it and has been able to manage it properly, and she wishes to share her experiences with us. It is no other person. Before I introduce the person, have you subscribed yet? If you haven't subscribed, so without further ado, meet Keli. Hi Keli, you're welcome to my channel.
Hi, Salman.
How is your weekend going?
It's exciting.
And yes, first, thank you so much for agreeing to speak with me, because it was on a short notice, but you had to make time for me. I'm
Exactly.
grateful.
You're a good friend.
More, send me money.
I
Okay.
could do this for you.
Yeah. So Keli experienced some time ago anxiety, and she has been able to manage it. Today, let's get into how she was able to identify, or even how did you come to know that you were going through anxiety?
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for giving me this platform.
Work.
So one night, I was driving, and then I just blacked out. I actually felt I was going through some, you can feel you're blacking out, but how, I don't know how to say this, but you're about to collapse.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like death. It also feels like, no, you are not dead. It's playing, there are lots of memories that are playing in your head. You're like, this. And then I'm by the steering wheel, I'm driving, and I don't know what is happening to me. I'm like, God, please forgive me. You have to say your last prayer because you think you are going.
And then flashes of all the bad things you've done.
And I'm like, oh, I'm going to lose Faris and all that. Okay, that's just by the way. So I finally blacked out. So before that, I just used the last strength I had to apply my brakes. So I parked right in the middle of the road.
Wow.
And then exactly, yes,
Right in the middle of the road.
in the middle of the road, and then I put my hazard on. So it was so brief. In about 50 seconds to 1 minute, I had regained consciousness.
Okay.
And then I'm like, what just happened to me? Was I
Wow.
about to die? Have I come out of death? Have I overcome death? Like, what exactly happened to me? It was so frightening because, first of all, it was very late in the night. And then...
Wait, where were you from? No.
Oh, please. I was from Wake, you know how late I close from Wake.
Okay, sure.
So, was the day? Yes, I mean, I was so tired from the day's work. So I'm like, what just happened to me? I called my family. I was like, this is what happened to me. They took me to they told me to wait where I was. They came to pick me. So when they took me to the house, the thought of whatever happened to me, because you haven't experienced it before. This is the first time. So you keep thinking about it, and then the brain starts to overwork all of a sudden. This was not something that I used to experience. The brain started overworking, and then at a point I'm like, God, what's happening to me? Like, some kind of confusion, some kind of mixed emotions. And then I'm like, God, like it's coming. I told my mama, excuse my language, I'm like, I hope I don't feel okay. Mama, may I call? Then I'm collapsing again. She pours water on me. I regain conscious. I'm like, nah. Like, if it actually feels like some kind of spiritual attack, but it isn't, because later I got to know it was panic attack.
Okay.
So before I actually was so ignorant about this particular condition. So I moved, like we went to the hospital. You know how African mothers are? They said, oh, it could be typhoid, it could be malaria, because it causes this kind of confusion and this. Okay. Fast forward, 2 weeks later, I wasn't feeling any better. When it gets to the evening,
so you kept having those.
Yes, I kept having. So now, because I experienced that thing behind the wheel, all of a sudden the symptoms were flooding my system.
Okay.
Like all the time, like especially when it's around 5 to 6, I start to feel cold, and then it's not the kind of cold that your body can withstand. Okay. Your body can withstand cold temperatures, so you are feeling like the feeling is hot, cold, some kind of. I mean, wow. It's a terrible feeling. I don't even wish that on my worst enemy. Fast forward, like I was saying, 2 weeks, the thing was not getting any better. We went to the hospitals. Trust me, our Ghanaian doctors, that's also another story. I mean, that's also a story for another day.
Story for another day.
But
I'll get you to tell that story someday.
Yes, you know that story. We went there, and then they are like, take typhoid, this thing, what's the name? Medication. Close to 3 months, I'm like, I'm still not feeling okay. So I went to one of these hospitals. I would also talk about them another time. And then immediately I got there, the lady, she was a white lady. She saw me, she's like, she just felt my neck. She's like, you're suffering from thyroid.
What?
That thyroid disorder.
Okay.
So you have thyroid. I was like, what's thyroid? It's a thyroid disorder. And I'm like,
what is thyroid?
What is this woman talking about? I haven't heard
thyroid before.
Like, I asked her, please, what's thyroid? And I panicked.
What is thyroid?
Can she just talk? Like, because at that moment, what I was feeling was something like close to death. You sleep at night, and then I close my eyes, and then the brain is wide awake.
Okay.
The brain has decided not to sleep.
So I want us to stick a little bit with about the death thing, because I remember there was a day I called you, and I was our usual play. Then I said, "Omo, you go die." Oh. Then you were like, "Faris, don't mention death, because I'm afraid of."
So I got to that point after the first incident.
Yeah.
I got shocked. So it was more like, it was a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
So you know how these things, sometimes it takes time for you to come out of that shock and those traumatized moments. So I would label that a PSTD, post-traumatic stress disorder, because I was trying to get out of it at that point when you mentioned death. I don't know how the brain is able to process it, but the brain just recalls, like I go back to when I felt that experience. I'm like, no, I don't want anything. So my family, nobody was mentioning death. So there was one doctor that I actually mentioned to that, look, when I sleep at night, I feel some kind of out of body sensation. What's called that? And
out of body sensation.
Yes, you sleep and then you feel like, I don't know, your soul. It is actually not your soul leaving your body, but you feel like, you feel light. You feel something is leaving your body.
Wow.
Like it's a near death experience, but it's actually not death. There are lots of people going through this particular situation, and then they are misconstruing it for spiritual attacks.
Do you experience this? Have you ever experienced this? Please leave your experiences in the comment section so that we can talk more on this.
Okay, so when I went home, I went to sit down, research that. She gave me medication, and now I started feeling better.
Okay.
Yes, I.
How long did the medication process last?
You see, I don't know if it's because of the fact that she could be late, but I felt better
even after talking to
her.
Okay, even
the
before
fact that I knew
it.
someone understood what I
was
was like. Finally, I knew what I was going. Like I
Yeah.
knew someone could relate to what I was going through.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my god, like this is where I can get.
Yeah. So it was like a load taking over your head.
Yes, finally someone understands me.
Yeah.
Because even my family, I used to tell them, this is how I feel. Nobody
Understood what you were trying to.
I spoke to certain friends, like lots of friends, and then
I'm sure to a point there was the spirituality bit of it. Knowing
yeah, so at that point I'm like, but you know me, I'm like, I always seek medical attention first.
Okay.
I always seek medical attention first because I am not the type that attributes. So most of these things are. I mean, let's not go there.
Yeah.
But So when I go back home, I took the medicine. She gave me diet.
Okay.
To follow.
Oh, okay.
I did, yes.
So it's also diet related.
Diet related. Okay. There are lots of our diets in the system that is actually triggering people's anxiety, and then
I remember since then you've been very careful about your food.
Exactly.
Your food hasn't been nice again. When food became
you
bad.
have to disgrace me here, please. That's not true. That is really not true.
Everything is no longer nice because there are a lot of things you no longer eat.
Exactly. You don't get salt in my food. You not get pepper, processed food. You not get me eating a whole red meat. You not get me taking alcohol. Well, even before that, I wasn't taking alcohol. Yeah. But I mean, now it has actually given me more reason to even stay away. Okay. Yes. So basically, that was.
Yeah. So let's stay a little bit on the food. So you don't take pepper.
I don't take pepper.
You don't take salt.
I don't take salt.
And what else? You don't take meat, red meat. So is there any other? So what protein things do you take?
What protein?
Yeah.
Either fish. Yeah, I do just fish.
Only fish.
Only fish. Or even sometimes you get my food and then there's no fish in it. No protein.
Oh, okay.
Veggies. I'm more like a vegetarian now.
Oh, more. Okay. Vegetarian.
Yes,
okay, interesting.
So you can see.
Right. So aside food, in terms of lifestyle, what helps?
Okay, for me, I will talk for myself.
Yeah.
For me, what works for me, what works is taking good rest.
Okay.
Sleeping early.
Oh, sleeping early. And a lot of us don't sleep early. You
never call me after 8 and then get me.
Yeah, that's true. And it's annoying actually.
I know, but it's all for my health.
Because I know I don't sleep until after midnight.
I'm sure a lot of people don't sleep after midnight. That is the time you can browse through the phone and then see what.
I'm actually more productive around that time.
But you need to sleep. You need to take a rest. Yeah. Okay. So I also don't. I go on vacations a lot. Sometimes you need a change of environment. Okay. And then.
Oh, so that's why you're traveling often.
Oh yes, I really need to travel. Okay, so maybe this will be a little hard, but I've seen exercise.
Oh, okay. I feel attacked. I don't exercise.
That's what I'm saying. I know this will be a little too hard because there's so many people that do not. When you mention exercise, like, that level. I understand. Yeah, so people need to exercise a lot. I mean, these are just the basic ones that could help you manage yours properly. Yes. So.
Okay. So sleep well. So sleep well, eat well, don't take alcohol.
Changing of environment. You don't have to go to a fireplace. You can go to someone, like hanging out with positive friends.
Okay.
Hanging out
positive vibes
with
only.
Positive friends.
No negative vibes.
No negativity.
Positive vibes only.
Basically.
Okay. So treating the thyroid disorder automatically solved your anxiety problem?
Yes, automatically.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you would realize almost everyone suffering from anxiety has an underlying health condition. That is what I have come to understand. Yes, anxiety in itself is natural, but when you start if you have certain tasks that you have not completed, it is just natural for you to feel anxious about it.
Them.
But once you start getting symptoms like what I felt, then you know that you need to seek medical care, or you need to change certain lives. And most times the lifestyle helps.
Okay.
And then the food.
Okay.
That is basically it. But
and then stay away from
alcohol.
As
Stay away from drugs.
Okay. Stay away from drugs.
Stay away from smoking.
Okay. So basically
Shisha.
Oh, shisha.
Exactly.
But okay, shisha,
yes, it's the trend now, but anxiety is also the trend. So you can tell that there's some kind of relation. Exactly. There are some people who get suicidal.
Okay.
It goes that
but
way.
Like did you get to the point of suicidal? Did you get suicidal?
Not entirely, but
you had the flashes of death.
No, yes, when I was getting those flashes of death, I felt like if I have to die, let me just die. I don't want to go through this thing.
Okay.
That is where I got to.
Okay.
But I never thought of taking my life. You know how I enjoy life. There is no way I will take my life. Like, no.
Problem.
No, I cannot take my life.
Enjoy.
Yes, so that was, I think basically that was what I felt.
And then there was one time you were crying. I'm like, Faris.
Yes, exactly. You know, that is one major symptom of anxiety. You know, sometimes you'll be there, you don't even know what is wrong with you, and you feel like crying. Someone asks you, why are you crying? And you don't even know why you are crying.
This one a madness now.
Exactly. You are crying. Keli, why are you crying? I don't know. And you don't know why. Like, people, it's so difficult for people to understand your situation.
Okay.
That is it.
Because so you would notice. Then I was like, if I call you, I'm like, oh mama, don't come and worry my life.
You weren't understanding me.
I want to gist you. I want to gist you.
I know, and so many gists there, yeah. But it wasn't my fault. Anxiety.
Yeah.
But now I'm out of it. So, but I think people really need to pay attention to their health.
There was this aspect of there's this thing that used to happen to me. I just feel scared of the future, sort of.
That's also anxiety.
So I just feel scared of the future, and I have no idea what the future.
What the future is. This is just natural. I think for my understanding, or for the little knowledge, I feel that is just natural. But if it is consistent, and if it gets to a point where it makes you disoriented, and it starts to affect your daily lifestyle, or your daily activities, then you know that there is a problem. You need to seek medical care.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. Please, if you are listening, if you are watching this and you are going through this, please seek medical care. Seek medical care as early as possible. A stitch in time saves 9. So thank you so much for making time to speak on my channel today, Keli. I am super grateful. This has been a wonderful conversation. There should be a part 2. I think the topic is broad.
It's very broad.
And maybe I would get more people, maybe 2-3 more guests to share their experiences, so that we have a diverse, experiences on this. So there's gonna be a part 2 on this topic of anxiety, and maybe we'll even talk about depression. Thank you so much.
I don't need to catch you, but there is a correlation between anxiety and depression. Yeah, anxiety can actually get you depressed when you are not able to come out of anxiety. If you're not able to manage your situation well, trust me, you get depressed about it, because it's like you are trying to fight something you are not able to overcome. Like the force is too high, the force is too strong. You are really not able to get yourself out of that situation.
Yeah.
It gets you depressed at a point.
Wow.
Yes.
So definitely we would have to talk about depression, because I believe that a lot of us are going through depression now, and then we must put the information out there for you to relate and help you come out of it. So stick and stay to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and then put on your notification bell so that you don't miss out our part 2 of anxiety and depression. Thank you so much, and see you next time.